Today's bird is Dinah Drake, aka Black Canary. Now, before I begin, I'd like to go ahead and give you a quick disclaimer. Black Canary's backstory is really hard terrain to travel on, because to be real, DC Comics had a lot of issues being consistent with their details and backstories for most of their characters before the 80s, which is why they created Crisis on Infinite Earths, kind of as a remedy/reboot. So with that in mind, we'll begin here. Dinah Laura Lance is the daughter of the first Black Canary, Dinah Drake Lance. Dinah Drake was a criminal of circumstances in Gotham and had to fend for her own on the streets. She was later taken in by a man named Desmond Lamar, who taught her how to fight. After unfortunately he passed on, she attempted to run his dojo in hopes of making an honest name for herself. Due to the crime in the area, she had to close the doors to the dojo and head back into a life of crime. This is where the origin of Black Canary gets a little shoddy due to inconsistencies in DC Comics' continuity back then. Changes were made in comics and stories that were deriving from what was going on in history back then. Dinah Lance made her first appearance in August 1947 in Flash Comics number 86. That is one backstory to the same Dinah from the 40s. The most commonly relied on origin for her was similar. Rather than running a dojo, it was a flower shop, and rather than being a criminal, she was a crime fighter, married to a Gotham detective named Larry Lance. And trust me, if you've read the 40s comics, that guy was a diamond. Since this is the most relied upon origin, we'll continue from here. Dinah's father was a GCPD detective named Richard Drake. She also wanted to be a police officer just like him. Unfortunately, she was rejected when she tried to join the police academy. Her father, Richard Drake, died, and he left her an inheritance, of which she used to open a flower shop, of which quickly became a cover for her nighttime crime-fighting scenarios. She often teamed up with Johnny Thunder, who was a member of the JSA. JSA stands for Justice Society of America, of which she becomes a member of eventually. Note that in Canary's first origin, she was an orphan who lived on the streets and did commit crimes, as stated at the beginning of this video. This was later retconned into that she was undercover, which led her to meeting Johnny Thunder on the wrong side of the law, of course. She later reveals her secret identity to Johnny. Now, Black Canary went on to become a permanent member of the JSA in All-Star Comics number 41. In her career at JSA, a battle ensues during JLA number 73 and 74, with the JLA aiding the JSA against Aquarius. Now enters the multiverse. The JSA are from Earth 2. The Justice League of America are from Earth 1. In possession of Starman's rod, Aquarius shoots out a sphere of energy to seek out and destroy Green Lantern, and instead the sphere heads for the first person in its vicinity, which is Black Canary. Unable to free herself from some plastic that bounds her to the ground due to Green Arrow, who had to subdue her because at one point the JSA were being mind-controlled by Aquarius to attack the JLA, she is unable to move. In utter peril, Dinah's husband Larry throws himself in front of the bar and instantly dies. Due to his sacrifice, Dinah survives the blast. Now, after Aquarius is defeated and all is said and done, Dinah requests that Superman take her to Earth 1, as she wishes to start a new life in efforts of leaving the sorrow of her husband's death behind. Black Canary goes on to live a life on Earth 1, eventually joins the Justice League, and of course, our little guy in green, Green Arrow, falls head over heels for her. Turns out the Black Canary that is now on Earth 1 is not the same Black Canary from Earth 2. The one that we know that was married to Larry Lance and was a member of the JSA. It's actually her daughter. Yes, Dinah Drake Lance's daughter. Dinah Laurel Lance. But what if our fish-netted heroine? Where's she? In All-Star Comics number 34, a new villain was introduced for the JSA, named the Wizard. He was able to hypnotize and cast illusions. He helped create the Injustice Society, but was defeated. In his second run, in the second incarnation of the Justice Society, again, they were defeated, and Black Canary played a vital role in that defeat. Later, he seeks out Black Canary and Larry Lance's daughter, and curses her with a harsh case of only what I could describe as supersonic Tourette's screaming syndrome. Villains and vengeance. Just another day at the office, right? But you see where this is leading, right? Due to the immense danger of the random supersonic cries of which the child could not control, Johnny Thunder, who is able to summon a genie/imp called Thunderbolt, is able to aid in this situation. Thunderbolt transfers the daughter to his dimension. That way, the daughter can't hurt anyone, and she can also be protected. Later, in the Justice League of America issues 219 to 220, the Justice Society and the Justice League are avidly trying to prevent the crime champions from stealing heroic items from around the world. During this period of time, they are attacked by Thunderbolt. Oddly enough, because he's a good guy. And he manages to subdue many of the Justice League, and he captures Black Canary and Starman, of which were in his dimension. And later they find out he's being controlled by Earth One's Johnny Thunder, while Earth One's evil version of Johnny goes on about his evil monologue. It is revealed that there is a case that has the bodies of Larry Lance and Black Canary inside this dimension with them. Understandably shocked, Black Canary can't seem to understand why there is a double of her. Now, remember, a while back the Wizard had once cursed Canary's daughter, of which landed her an extended vacation in T-Bolt's dimension. It turns out T-Bolt just didn't Uber her into the dimension, but he also wiped Larry Lance, Black Canary, and Johnny Thunder's memory of the event, and instead remixed the event to be that the daughter had actually died instead when she was attacked by the Wizard, which is why she can't understand why there's a double of her. The daughter, Dinah Laurel Lance, grew normally within this dimension as any human would in ours. Naturally, Black Canary tries to make sense of things and concludes this is her daughter, of which she had been made to believe had died. But that doesn't explain Larry Lance's body being there as well. He died long ago. Remember, after he sacrificed himself during the battle with Aquarius? Earth One's Johnny Thunder grows wary of the chit-chat and soon commands T-Bolt to kill Black Canary and Starman. Despite T-Bolt not wanting to do so, unfortunately, he has to comply. Luckily, though, Earth 2's Johnny, of whom is also imprisoned in this dimension, manages to break free and retake control over T-Bolt and quickly lays waste to his evil version and releases Canary and Starman. Soon after, Superman arrives in the dimension, of course, and this is with the help of the Spectre. Black Canary looks to Superman for clarification. She exclaims, "You were there that day. You were the one that took me to Earth 1 after Larry's death." "No, I'm sorry, that was also a fabricated memory. Though yes, I did carry a Black Canary that day to Earth, but due to her proximity and exposure to the energy ball that claimed Larry's life, she grew ill. And before she died, she requested to see her daughter's grave one last time." I then of course brought her here, to Thunderbolt's dimension, and revealed that her daughter was alive. Superman goes on to tell Black Canary that day Black Canary wanted nothing more for you to take her place after she passes on. Luckily, Thunderbolt answered that call and transferred her memories to her daughter's body, your body. And due to the complicated nature of things, Dinah, that event was erased from your mind. You then carried on as your mother, as Black Canary, which is why you have your mother's memories, and lived life as her. Those are the bodies of your parents. And you are Dinah Laurel Lance, the daughter of our eternally rested friend, Dinah Drake Lance, Black Canary. With tears in her eyes, she looks up to Superman, who is now carrying her out of the dimension, as he did one day long ago with her mother. And she says, "One favor, please. Let me be the one to explain this to Ollie, okay?" That's it. That's it for part 1 of Know Your Bird, Black Canary. Part 2 will cover her life through the events of Infinite Crisis on 2 Earths, right up to her first time as a bird of prey. Go ahead and batarang that sub button and hit that bell to be notified of when part 2 is up. Please open your minds and canary cry in the comments section below with any thoughts you have. Until then, I'm out. Peace.